Okay. Shit.
They know who we are.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it. Fuck
Yeah.
it. New format. We don't do intros. Um,
If you do, you do. You gonna find out who we are. Not
exactly. You heard the music. You're fine. So, yeah, Black entertainment. I really wanted to. This really. Initially, I just wanted to talk about Cat Williams and the shit that he said. But
Cat Williams
then,
say.
you
Oh, you
know,
don't even know what.
oh, you
No.
don't know what happened?
No.
Oh boy.
She's not black.
But so there's an interview that came out back in February
Mhm.
on Club Shay Shay on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Shay is a former football player, and he does
Mhm.
interviews with tons of famous people and
Yeah.
all that. And prior to Cat Williams' interview, his channel was successful, but after this episode, it's been different. You know,
Oh my God.
I think Cat Williams' interview has 68 million views, and that's
Oh
Mhm.
more.
wow.
It's so many people that's seen this thing. So
Oh my God.
It's trending still.
Dang.
essentially, he exposes a lot of people in the industry. Mainly, he talks a lot about actors,
Mhm.
about how comedians, how they are frauding their accolades, and
Mhm.
they ain't funny. Some of these guys aren't funny, and that they're part of the Illuminati, and that there's gatekeepers and things like that. And mainly Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey. There was more,
Wow.
like calling them
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and exposing their back history and shit. And it was real fascinating, real fascinating. I got it pulled up here, but it's a 2 hour clip, and we're not gonna watch it obviously, but
Bro, they're
it
exposing people?
like two. I'm telling you, like
Oh
it's
my
the
God.
weirdest thing was like I remember when this episode came out, and I was getting ready for work, and I was on my YouTube homepage, and this shit was there. Never heard of this channel, still not subscribed to this day, and I was like, oh shit, Cat Williams in an interview? Sure, I don't know why, but I'll watch it.
Uh-huh.
And it's just right from the jump, he just starts letting off like
Oh.
crazy shit.
I mean, we ain't even got.
I'm not fueled by alcohol. I've had a sip, less than you. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
It's a situation.
He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. That's why he's called the Entertainer.
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't
He said he
write
doing an
jokes.
album.
He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
You don't think Ced's a good?
Before we even get into this, I have a question for you, Dylan.
Is it because I'm black?
Well, because I assume you know who I'm gonna ask you about. I think 3 or 4 people, and I'm gonna ask who's your favorite. Who would win? Who would you want to talk to the most based on all this stuff? So there's Cat Williams that's came up in the media right now. That's exposing people. There's Jaguar Wright that's exposing Diddy and other rappers. There's Orlando Brown, who's also exposing people and doing it in his way. And there's also Gene Deal, who's doing this. So these are the 4 horsemen that have been exposing the black entertainment industry as of they've always been doing it, but as of lately it's been getting a lot of attention. So
Easy, simple answer is Loki, Jaguar, right? Because I can get Cat Williams out of her because that was her mentor. 1, 2, I feel like she just has a bit more because I think with everything that's going on in the entertainment industry, it's kind of just like a loophole of they're throwing each other under the bus because there's something bigger going on with the government, and we already all know it. It's not nothing new. I think when it comes to like just picking somebody, I think it's also about the passion and kind of also how long have they been in this industry? Who do they know? What do they know? And how long have they been like talking about this? Because some of these people kind of just come out the blue, when things, when they need some extra cash.
Right.
And then there's other people who will be like, I've been saying this for years, and I just didn't have that platform, and I just didn't have that view like I do now, kind of thing. Because Jaguar Wright, she been doing this since fucking Cat was still doing stand up when she was still when Aaliyah was still alive. So I'd rather go with somebody who's already been in the game than somebody who's just doing this now, just kind of because it's trending.
Okay. So, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because yeah, she's been doing these interviews for a long time.
The longest. I mean, it's like she worked with Cat Williams, so it's like I can get Cat Williams out of her.
So what's happening here is multiverses are coming together. Because she references Orlando Brown, who also talks about her in his interviews. And then they both also echo Cat Williams. And Gene also echoes things that they say. So, Cassie, to explain, do you know anything about what Diddy is being accused of?
Dylan explained it to me a little bit. Basically, arcade level. I was like, but that's the basics. That's all I know. And that he's on the run. Yeah.
Yeah, they got him.
Oh, dude.
There's a lot of controversy on if they got him or if it's somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they not like literally caught him, but I'm saying like, oh no, this boy is cooked. There's no way they don't. If they find nothing,
he's gonna be there with R. Kelly.
Yeah. Like, so the thing is, basically, they raided his house. They say like the people that were raiding it didn't know they were going to be raiding Diddy's place, and that was, it was all planned out so that way things can happen properly. They raided his house. They took everything. They took. Diddy had cameras and bugs all throughout his house, and he's been known to have these insane parties known as freak offs, which are now confirmed. And celebrities have been in there. Oh wait, where's the Gene? I love the way he says this. He talks about this in his little interview at the beginning. It's not on this one.
But not only celebrities. I don't think it's only celebrities going to be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah.
But celebrities, politicians, like P. Diddy is the Epstein of the rap industry. Essentially. This isn't the one. What the fuck is all of this? But so the problem, like one of the biggest questions people do have is like, why isn't Diddy coming, or why isn't no one coming to his defense really? Like the only person that comes to his defense is Stevie J. Wait a minute, this is weird. Where's the?
It's Diddy, it's Meek Mill, Usher up in there too. There's something about Justin Bieber up in there because remember Diddy files against like younger people, including Justin Bieber, and Usher was a victim. But then Usher started bringing people, and that's how Justin Bieber got into it because Usher brought Justin into this. You were right; they did have freakouts. Jaguar Wright knows about a lot more of this information because she said that she's went to these parties, a lot of them, and also she knew about the Aaliyah case because it was, I think, Diddy's like recording artist. It was somebody he worked with who he obviously told what happened to Aaliyah in detail, and then that dude told Jaguar Wright because that was her man at the time and they were sleeping together. So she details because the person who knows and was there told her. So Meek finna get into that too because he got alleged cases with him playing and him and Diddy ganging up on minors. Diddy is allegedly missing right now because remember with the whole airport drop, he was at the airport when his house got raided. His sons got arrested in his case because they were at the house. He was at the airport, obviously trying to flee. And they're allegedly saying that he fled to the Playboy Mansion because there's tunnels underneath, which I could believe. It's rich people. Why would they not? Point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the cameras all over his house. It's rude. It was basically. He also did try to mess with like other celebrities, like Tyson and all them. Like these were caught on camera of him just kind of too touchy, too physical, and he would pay people. Like he paid Cat Williams. Like he tried to pay Cat Williams. He would offer money at these parties, be like, "Hey, I'll give you $500,000 right now if you let me smash." And he would offer because these were like, these were straight men. Like he was offered to Cat Williams, like dudes who weren't gay because it was a fresh hole. A hole is a hole. It was fresh. So he's like, I'll give you this money if you bend over for me. And at the parties, what happened was there was a lot of obviously drugs and alcohol, so it was more pushing that. So then they were unconscious, and you know things was happening. And yeah, and it was like a lot of celebrities know about this because it's a common thing in Hollywood. Freak-offs are very common in Hollywood. Instead.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Illuminati and things, it's because right now there's a hierarchy balance. So like right now they're trying to. They said Jay-Z threw Diddy under the bus because he's trying to obviously get in power, and obviously he got rid of Aaliyah because you know he wanted Beyonce to take her place because they thought that Aaliyah is right now she's still alive. And there was just a lot more, but like that's the main surface level of it all.
Sweet. That's an excellent summary. I think of that's I like that. I like that summary. That's better than I can do it.
Especially the Playboy Mansion tunnels. Like,
what do you think, Cassie, of hearing all of that?
Well, yeah. It's because Playboy has now opened it up to where like you'll see TikTokers and stuff having like photo shoots and stuff. So where it's now it's just this common place, but you also have these celebrities who've been in the game for decades, like before we were born. And technology is only evolving. Yeah, they would have tunnels. This man had cameras in every room of his house, and you see their houses aren't small. They luxurious for no reason and grand. And hidden rooms are only evolving. So
that's scary.
Where do you think he's hiding at right now?
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
While his son in jail for while his son is in jail for him, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't know that was his son that got it. Like, that's wild, dude.
Blame for him?
Mm-hmm.
For real. He's probably hiding in plain sight.
So dad, he didn't say nothing.
Son. Oh well.
Exactly.
I know.
But you also see that none of the celebrities is like snitching on him either. Besides, like, you know,
nope.
Hollywood was never good to begin with. It was never good.
Yeah.
But and I think when it comes to like young people wanting to go into this industry, I've watched like a lot of YouTubers and stuff. Like I'm talking like early 2000 YouTubers who have now kind of moved on, still kind of in the light, and are still good names. And they've kind of talked about being these idols that people look up to, even if it's like a small thing as a YouTuber or TikToker, because we hold those people to the same standard as actors and stuff, because it's just somebody's famous, you know their name, you've seen them somewhere or heard of them from something. You kind of have to separate yourself, but for you to jump into this business, you have to know what your limits are. Because especially now, looking at everybody revealing everything in these careers, now you know what to expect and really ask yourself, can I handle this? Because once you go back, you can't take that camera back. That's a digital footprint forever. And as far as when it goes on in Diddy's house and all these black creators, they know what happened. Like we could talk about Nicki Minaj with her husband and the kids in that whole case that she got.
Her brother.
Them Barbies still gonna be by her back. So they not worried. You know, if Gabrielle Union was sleeping with Diddy and doing stuff like, you know, some nasty stuff, hey, that's them. As long as she wasn't sleeping with no child, I don't care what she do. If they recorded it, that's cool. You know, but there's always gonna be somebody who gonna make a bigger deal. You know, unless it's like something again illegal that Diddy did, like again with the minors and stuff. That's kind of what we care about. As far as his cameras all over his house and him wanting to be freaking nasty with all these grown adults, they consented. That's not my business.
It's one thing to be an actor and make mistakes, but it's another thing to be like, hey, there are people who want to be black actors because of you people. There are people that go into this entertainment because of you people. So I'm like, I think it could. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. What if I did get lucky, go to LA, make us film, and then be able to do all this, and then I ended up right at one of these tables. The only reason why some of these stories are even coming out is because I saw on the Meek Mill clip, one of the dudes was talking about it. He was like he don't even drink, you know, he was playing it off and all that shit, and you know, on some weird shit. I want to see what's on these videos, and I want more people to come out and talk, like, irregardless of if it's good or bad, or not even if it's viral, but like, I mean, the whole Cassie situation, of course, that needs to be rectified. But like anything else, you know, like I don't care. No one cares that he's gay or anything, right? Like, but to use it to make people, to obviously force people who aren't, in order for them to become famous or whatever, or threaten their career, their talent, whatever. Yeah, that has to be proven, and that has to be exposed, because, like you said, it's been going on for way too long. And the only reason why it's changing now is because we got the platforms to do it. Because podcasting wasn't a thing back then. So now doing interviews and all that wasn't a thing that they could just do, you know. But he does have to talk about it, because there are more people wanting to get in. There's SoundCloud rappers that want to be rappers. They don't know what they're getting into. People don't believe what they're going to be getting into. Like you said, there's always going to be Barbies. One of those Barbies is going to end up in the situation, and they're going to end up fucked up because they're not going to know what to do. They thought all this shit was fun and games until they sitting at that table. Shit, if I want to be in that industry in some way, shape, or form, I'd want to know who's all doing what. Because hell, I'll be damned if you give me a glass of water and next thing you know, I don't remember what happened. That's crazy. For a movie? Nah. You know?
Did y'all hear what happened to Aaliyah and all them? Like the in details?
I've only heard some of it.
Nah, so basically what happened was, we all remember she was recording that last song for her album. We remember Rock the Boat, right? So it was the day that she finished recording that. Like everything was on set, on rap. But the thing was, not only her, but her dancers and everybody else as well who was with her, they didn't feel comfortable. Like they could feel this like tense, eerie situation, because it was, who was it? I forgot his name. It was a dude there. And this dude had made a call because Aaliyah was gonna get a certain plane, obviously, because she's famous, and it was like a specific plane to ensure her safety and everybody who was with her. And this person calls them and was like, "Hey, nah, I'm gonna get her a different plane," and that was the plane that she rode in. And Aaliyah knew this, and she was like, "No, I'm not getting on that plane. Like, why would you switch it? Like, what was wrong with the other one?" Because they didn't tell her nothing. They're just like, "You're gonna get on this, and that's it." And so she was obviously not cooperating. So they drugged her and put her to sleep and carried her onto this plane, where she then died. And it was all, premeditated and everything. Like, it was supposed to happen. And this was an order that they're trying to find out, and that's allegedly by Jay-Z. And we know this because the dude who made the phone call he was working with Jaguar Wright's boyfriend at the time, like close, like he was like, I think it was in the recording studio, and like he was there for the phone calls and everything. He told Jaguar like, "This what happened," whatever, and they covered it up to make it look like, oh, the plane was faulty, but they knew it was faulty. They already knew that, and so they still put her on there, drugged, asleep.
On a faulty plane.
Yeah, to kill her, because it was basically the Illuminati at that time. Like when the Illuminati was real big, back in like the 2008 and everything, move them. It was around that time, because they had ordered for her to be hit because they're like her name is growing too much. She's getting too much of the limelight. She
Mhm.
gotta go. Like, and because we all knew we knew she was working on something because artists will post snippets and be like, "This is it," and they
Mhm.
knew that this song was probably gonna hit, and they were like, "Nah," and they
Wow.
ordered that, and they just kept killing. And they would just cover it to make it either look like accidents or like something. But then they also could pay off the government too. So that's kind of why you never really see it as a big deal. Because they also know the people who killed Tupac. They know what happened.
Oh yeah.
Jaguar Wright knows what happened.
I'm telling you, you gotta watch. You gotta watch those interviews like that. Like, if there's any interviews in the world to watch, it's hers. It's Orlando Brown's and Gene Deal's. If you ever want to just know more about the situation, you get their
They got too much.
That's like that. That's the whole. That's the whole book right there. That's the whole series.
Because the best thing is they drop names.
Oh.
They drop time. No, like they be. It was like I can't remember their names, but they'll drop a whole first and last to be like they know what happened. They remember, and they'll give dates, time stamps. And I'm like,
about their safety?
because then at that point you can't do anything because you're like, this person has this much evidence. What do you have to say for yourself? Because Jaguar even addressed it in the video. She was talking to one of her friends who's in prison right now for something they didn't do, covering up for I think it was somebody in the Illuminati, and they were like, you know what happened? Tell them what happened. Stop covering. Like, y'all scared, we can't be scared.
Yep, and I'm like, geez, do they really have like powers or something? Like,
Yes.
You think so? Like, what can they, like, that's the thing that scares me. What can they do?
Okay, so basically with the Illuminati and everything, because they have so much power to their name and money to their name, the government is already trash. Let's be real.
Right.
But when it comes to celebrities in the government, and when it comes to celebrities in the government, it's the same way because these are both just rich people trying to stay rich. So you'll see like little things, like when you see like an artist suddenly meeting the president, and you're like, well, how the fuck that just randomly, like I've seen it, like you'll see these presidents with these artists, like I'm trying to remember, like it was like I'm trying to like think of it. Like if Beyonce were to just meet Biden, and you're just like, how the fuck? Because why that music, or like Cardi B or something. Like these people will meet these high officials, and you're like, you don't expect them to listen to this shaking ass and all that.
Exactly.
Like even with the whole Kanye thing, it's like these people just exchange money, and also like they know people in the government, so they just cover it up.
The fuck? I'm scared.
They just cover it up. I'm scared. To be honest, I'm not scared of the Illuminati because I'm like, no, because I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Like, you a group of people, and you already got. It's like it's not like you're not famous. Like Beyonce has billions to her name.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like what do you like? You everybody knows you, your kid, your life, your history. What else do you need for you to go around killing people? And it's the reason of they're going bigger than me. And it's like you've been big since I was alive, and that was two some decades ago.
Like what more do you
need? Be rich till you die. Your kids and your grandkids is set off. Like, and I think that's kind of what's kind of making things now hard because a lot of people, some people are realizing common sense and other people aren't. It's really a hit or miss these days.
Right. Yeah, there's essentially is two sides of society at this point. There's either those who are actually blind, and then those who are smart enough to be like, yo, that's kind of weird.
Right. And it's starting to show because everything's kind of like with the whole, if we go into like how society views these famous people and not just kind of how they're affecting it, it's like we have TikTok right now where it's going to be banned and everybody's like, you can't do that. And like a lot of people are pulling out that like they know their like rights and everything and like the laws of the government, and they're willing to read the pages of, well, like I literally watched a 2-minute video of a dude explaining like, well, you can't ban TikTok because it's a form of our rights and da 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 da. So you can't really do that. And the government's just like, well,
We're doing it.
we'll take away that right then. We'll take away that right. Because like now it's like with like abortion and stuff, it's because apparently population is declining because our generation won't have kids because we can't afford them. So
There's so
instead of
much
letting them
bullshit.
have the right to their body, give up the right, so then they forced to have kids that they can't afford to fund these wealthy men's pockets just so they can have slaves to fuel the warehouses.
Exactly. So I've been reading some shit, and this is a whole nother episode that we'll have to get into. But there's like this whole esoteric thing, and I'll tell you, there will be a day where we talk about the day I took shrooms. Leading up to that, things I've been studying about ancient civilizations and prior. So that's gonna be coming. But this shit, yeah, the Illuminati and all that, like I know for a fact, yeah, like, or I know for sure that yeah, it's real, and we all are a part of it, irregardless of if we want to be or not. You carry American money in your pocket.
If you
So
spending it, if you spending it
yeah,
on artists, if you spending it on an artist of any type of purchase, you're funding the Illuminati.
like there's really no. They've made it to where there's really no stopping it because it doesn't take a lot of to sway people to be like, I give up anyway. So it's like in my mind, they're not worried about small people like us, right? Like what are we gonna do? They're worried
We're
about
common.
those, right? Like they're worried about those who are big enough to like make some waves or whatever. So that's why we can all talk about it because shit. I was telling my lady about this when we were at the beach. I was like, Beyonce is being she has a court case right now on extreme witchcraft by one of her drummers,
What?
and she was like, "What?"
You know about
And I was
that?
like, she was like, I was like, "Why does that sound crazy?" What? Because in your mind, you're like, "What? No, not Beyonce, not
No, in
the
my mind,
famous,
no, 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 no,
beautiful,
no, 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 no,
amazing,
no. No,
perfect."
no,
You know?
that's not even coming to me. No, no, no. When I think of it, I'm like that. What? Because I'm thinking Beyonce would be more like witchcraft. Like I wouldn't see her doing that. Like I was thinking something else. I don't know.
Leave that to someone
But
else.
Like I can see her doing something illegal.
but like
But
it's I'm like, she's just a person. Why can't she do that? Anybody could be capable of doing that. Like she ain't no different. Like yeah, she like this Illuminati shit is. I mean, it's in your face and it's made to look weird. So that way, when it's shown in front of you, you're like, oh,
You won't believe
that's
it.
just something else. When it's like, no, your perception of what makes sense has been fucked with. Like
for so long.
for so long. That's what I've been looking into. Like where it's like, part of it was realizing like things like the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, and all that shit. Part of it is like most people watched it and they're like, oh, I get it, like, oh, stand out, be different, don't fall to the corporate system. But the movie is a much bigger story about the world that we live in as a whole, and how there is this presence, this creation, this dark evil people, that control you and make you live this life and make you believe you can't do things, and that you can have these pipe dreams, and that you'd rather live in this ignorance and all this dumb shit than be in this freedom to know your knowledge, to explore what you want to do, to be the person you were born to be. That's the system, not like just working some job. The system is the entire way we all perceive what life is. It's the way we view family. It's the way we view all of it. Like, and it's all like, so it's always going to sound crazy because that's how they made it seem. They've had thousands of years to get this shit. So it's always a mind fuck.
This isn't real. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, that you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
We have
It's
only
in
bits and
movies too.
pieces of
Like it's in movies. Like it's always in
They snitch
it
in the
mainly
movies all the
science fiction. Mainly science fiction.
They snitch in the movies all the time.
All the fucking time.
People just don't be fucking war. What was that? World War Z. What else?
Man.
Literally, World War Z was literally just about what just happened these last 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Before, and this movie came out in the early 2000s. They're literally just telling us
It's really the
what
movies. There's a time frame where these movies, you know, are depict like people are talking about how Spielberg movies are, you know, like he saw UFOs and things like that, so that's why he's moving. And I'm like, yeah, these movies have been here. Like there's movies in the 60s and things like that that talk about when we went to the moon
Right.
and this weird shit, and it's made to look crazy because that's the only way to describe it.
simulation. We're in a simulation.
Right. Like we're in a like
I've
bro.
been saying it.
Okay, hold on.
I've been
Yeah.
saying it for years. We're in a simulation.
Can we do you guys remember the Terrence Howard video?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I have to like formally apologize
Did he?
because he was actually very correct
yeah.
in just about everything he said.
Oh my god.
I learned this out during the past month of March. So everything he says in that video makes absolute sense. And it's because of this. There's a documentary called The Esoteric Agenda that talks about all of this, how it all started. It talks about the Illuminati, but it also goes even further than that about everything. And people, and we're in a society, they say this is the greatest time to be alive. And it is
No.
because, in the sense of like, when you start to realize that there's knowledge and information out there that this is how fucked up it is. It's out there for you to just have. Like they don't even hide it. It's there. But
No,
most
of
people
course.
most people just don't know where to look or don't know that they're looking at it. And so you can know what really happened. And then once you do, you're like, "Oh, this is at least the greatest time to be alive because one the average lifespan is longer than 30 for one thing. So you at least have a shot to some years."
Oh,
You know what I mean?
no.
Like you have a toilet. Most people. I mean, shout out to my homeless people. But you know what I mean? Like there are there are things that are better in terms of
here's
the condition in which life could be. Not saying the way life is ran. That's a different thing. But what life can be. Yes. This is the greatest time to be alive. You lose a leg, you may not have the money, but there is a way for you to get another leg. That wasn't available, like, you know, not as efficiently at least. Like you could probably walk around with a fucking wood peg in your leg, but that shit ain't.
You talking about the
ain't
Tudor
good.
errors?
You know what I mean? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
the Tudor errors.
There's so much shit out there. There's knowledge out there, information out there that Terrence Howard, when you look into it, and then scientists are actually like talking about this shit right now, where it's like, yeah, there are, you know, things going on in physics that are kind of quote unquote odd or not, that they aren't figuring out. They're always finding new elements and shit. You know, they're always fucking around with things that they don't understand. And slowly but surely, you know, things like he talked about the platonic solids, like, yeah, that's all real. That's all a real thing. The way our DNA and all that shit works, yes, it's all real. He was very right about that because we live through frequencies and shit.
Get careful now. Remember, the anti-scientist people
Man,
anti-science
I don't.
exists.
I ain't worried about that. We are
The
nothing but
flat earthers don't
if
be
people.
careful.
No one, man, they can choke on a flat.
Hey, we gonna get demonetized. We still on
The
YouTube.
the fact
Oh
is,
God.
we're frequencies, right? Like we are energy, right? So if people can believe that, if people can be like, I can understand that, I can be on that vibe, then you have to
Mm.
understand what that means scientifically when you break that shit down. If we're talking about string
Mhm.
theory and all that, if you're talking about how the universe works, we send radio waves out we send the planet sends waves out. We receive waves. There's so much waves and frequencies and shit like that. Like we aren't even physical. Like the way atoms work, we are just on a frequency. You know what I mean? Like this is all stuff that people can just look up. You could just look it
You
up
know
right
what's
now and be
you
blown
know
the
what's
fuck away by the way
you know
that
what's
you
crazy?
exist. Hmm.
You know what's crazy? So I just want to say, and I know other people are probably feeling this way, by what he just said. The entire time he said that, I thought somebody would say, "So I can't be a tree." And then I also, isn't that shifted my thought because this is reality. This is how people think. You have to really like. Not everybody's gonna just think on such a philosophical, deep level. Someone really out there would be like when he said, "Man, fuck those people," and we're all just atoms in this. Someone's just gonna be like, "No, I'm a tree. Go
Bro,
by."
the only reason why you
No
believe you're a
offense.
tree
No offense. No offense. No offense. No
is
offense.
the guy who thinks they're a tree or anything, but like the
Just
only
remember, because
reason
we're in such a more sensitive time. Like back in the day, you could make racist jokes on
Nah,
TV.
fuck that. Here's my theory. We're probably just doing that so that way we give pedophiles a little bit of an easier time when they get sent to jail. Fuck
Oh
this being
God.
nice shit. Fuck this shit. You know what I
Bring
mean?
back
Like get back to
bullying.
being mean. I don't care. Like it's
Bring
time.
back
Like we
bullying.
being way too
Bring back
nice. These people
bullying.
been fucking kids because we been way too nice. Fuck that.
Bring back
Like
bullying.
if we were meaner, we'd probably be hiring better people to be watching our kids. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
scrutinize a little more. Shit. But it's um I lost my train of thought. Fucking pedophiles. But yeah, yeah. We live in a weird time. I'm thankful to
Man,
live at least in now.
I wonder how the future is gonna be.
Who knows?
Probably trash.
It could be. I feel like it could really go a number of ways. It feels like it may go bad, but like
The way climate change is, global warming, it's looking bright.
we'll see.
So,
Yeah,
it's
we'll
hot as
see.
fuck right now, man, and it's spring. It's hot as fuck.
It
It's
is.
spring.
Not cute.
Feels like it's summer. So it seems like we're not doing that well in 2024. We thought we were gonna have flying cars. We have unbearable heat and
We have
bipolar
all those
weather.
things. We could fix. We
Pedophiles
could.
who make
We
mute
could fix climate
leave.
change if we wanted to by tomorrow. They just don't want to. Is the reality. Like
We
these
can't
aren't
afford.
problems.
For them,
It's
yeah.
not that we can't do these things. It's that they don't want to do these things. You follow me? Like
Exactly.
the military has technology and shit like that they don't obviously give to the public. You know what I mean? Like these are problems that we have as common people because we want to fix these problems, but they don't because it fuels they are fueled by the fear that we give. We are all worried about climate change, so therefore we're gonna do the best we can to save this planet. I'm gonna recycle. I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna vote because like they want because that's what they want to do. They want to fuel you with fear instead of love because they're that's what the dark does. It feeds on your fear, and with this whole thing, like it breaks it down to where that's the only two spectrums. There's fear and there's love, and then there's the in between. Everything boils down to the two. So when you have a society driven by this passion of where they want to get a job or a family or whatever, and then they don't get those things, they lack those things, their motivation comes from a certain level of fear versus a certain level of love, which should be the forefront, where it's like you're pushing for a passion because this is what you feel like you've been born to do, not because you feel like you have to do it because this is how society is set up because you got to make money in order to do this. That shouldn't be how life is. That's how they make it. Climate change could be fixed if they put money into it. They don't want to do that. You know, like we shouldn't be fighting each other. We all fucking humans at the end of the day. I wouldn't be if I was an alien. I wouldn't come here either. We are all fighting each other. For what? This planet needs our attention, and yet we sitting here. You know, we all got to worry about our bills. We all got to worry about paying taxes. We all got to worry about getting money just to lose it. You know, chasing dreams that we can't even that people are gonna gatekeep and not let us achieve because of race or circumstance or whatever because of greed, because of some other bullshit. You know, so it's like that's what it all boils down to. And all it takes is X amount of people. I watched a ton of, they say that all it takes is X amount of people to get on this certain level of like elevated consciousness of being aware of these things and like pushing themselves, and things are just going to change because there's a dribble effect or some shit.
Oh, that brings me to something.
Yeah.
This point. Like I said, I'd be on TikTok and brain rotting. I know a lot of information because that's all my feed is. Did you hear about that one back in South Korea? I think it was 2-3 years ago. This is very recent. A group of women, because their laws out there are different. When it comes to like women, they be mistreated and they're still kind of viewed as lesser than compared to men, and they're just there to serve men. That's how they're treated out there. So it's a lot more like assaults and stuff towards women. So they decided, a group of women decided to stop having sex.
Oh yeah.
And everything.
Nice.
And then it grew and it grew. So now it's so bad. They started this in I think 2021 or 2022 that they're like schools right now. There's only like 5 or 10 kindergartners per class.
That's wild.
Because so many women stopped having kids, and that they're saying if they don't start having kids soon, by next year, there's gonna be no class of 20, 30 something. Like when they would graduate.
And that's the
Like,
power
there
that
would
I'm
be no
talking about.
class.
That's the power that I'm
And
talking about.
now women outside of Asia are starting to implement that because we just found out about it. So now they're starting to do that, and now when it comes to like women's rights and stuff, and mainly like southern states, it's a struggle right now.
That's fascinating. They were like, we were about to decimate this population. We gonna genocide ourselves.
And they did. And they did.
Yo.
They stuck to it too. Because there was a teacher literally from South Korea was like, I literally have like 10 students.
10?
So,
Wow.
like, so small because no one's and you also have to realize, and this is our generation, because out there they would have kids at like our ages, or at least have had a child by that point, and a lot of them just like no, I'm good.
That's funny.
No, screw you.
I respect it.
And they're winning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it shouldn't have to get to that point. It shouldn't need to be, I'm gonna give up. Like, you should just be able to say, nah, I don't want to right now, or no, I don't want a kid right now for whatever reason. Like, even if you could afford one, if you just didn't want a kid right now, that's perfectly fine.
Man.
Because everybody's so worried about having kids, but the foster care system's so big. And so there's so many kids, but then even then, them kids getting abused and killed left and right.
I know. Foster is not that great.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose if you have a child.
The priorities are on the wrong thing.
Man. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears here, because we're only got like I'm gonna try to keep this at least under an hour 20 at best if we can help it. Last thing I really want to, so we gotta at least touch on it a little bit. The Kendrick and Drake beef.
Oh yeah. Oh man, whose side are you guys on?
They done shot out boy's house.
Yeah. Well,
Who won?
I don't know who started it. Who won?
Kendrick.
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 Yeah, bro. What the hell?
You see,
Whew,
Drake ain't come back with a diss track yet,
I
unless he
know.
cooking something up. But
He
I
has
think he
enough
too
on
busy
Kendrick.
trying to. I think Drake too busy trying to get that armor together because being called a pedophile, then talk about how you're not even a father to your kids, and then all that,
You
and
the pin
not him
drop
talking,
on
and
all
that
the
he
pedophiles
used.
in his house.
Yep. But then like Drake was with Diddy.
Yeah.
We ain't even shocked. To be honest, it's too many pedophiles in the industry. I don't know how
There's
they don't
way
do
too
they don't
many.
get background
Oh
checks.
yeah.
They don't do background checks no
For
more.
real.
You know what
What
I'm
is
Because all
guessing
the
what it
background checks
was?
I gotta go through.
I'm telling you,
I'm
this had to have been the only reason. This is the only reason why the PC society that we have today is at least a little helpful, because I don't think this is how society always has been. To where I think there are a lot of things that we let get by, and you watch movies and you see it, and you're like, we thought this shit was funny. We didn't think nothing of it, and turns out this shit was
iCarly.
happening behind closed doors because everybody was, we were all entertained by it. But now we're in a society where it's like everybody does want to cancel this and cancel that and speak up
Cancel
about
culture
these
is back.
things. So, you know,
mm,
it's a different time period, and now it's allowing for this shit to be like, hey, this happened.
So we told them to stop bullying and being mean back in like 2010 on.
Yeah.
Now we gotta go back to being mean because people don't know how to act when you're nice.
Yeah, like it was shameful I remember it was shameful to send your nudes in high school.
If we all have kids, we can all tell our kids we were alive before AI existed.
oh yeah. So you're older than AI.
Yep, we're older than AI. That's gonna be
I
crazy to
remember
say.
I
And then to
had to
tell our
order my
kids
food by hand.
Not holding your food by hand.
There was no chat buddy or whatever the fuck they call some AI.
I remember I had to go outside and come
Yeah.
back in by the street lights.
Fuck.
Man,
We're really
that
getting
was
to
those
Wally,
times.
Oh fuck.
Mhm.
Sorry.
We're slowly getting there.
Oh my god, telling my kid I survived a global pandemic.
I'm gonna lie so hard.
And I got and to be like, oh yeah, I got it. I was dying.
Oh
Cassie
dang.
got it too, but 3 times.
Or like, see, what
Cool
they
time.
didn't do was they didn't tell my story. See, because what was really happening, you know.
But what really happened was
Oh man,
there was zombies and they
but they don't want to tell that. They covered that shit up. Like, look it up. There's like, look at all the cover-ups and shit that came out in 2022.
Mhm.
Look up Cat Williams. Tell me that, and tell me zombies don't exist. Bro, they
Right.
gonna
Look at that.
and they gonna have the AI shit, so they gonna like just look it up hella quick.
Yo, dog, with AI, it's gonna be so much easier to just fucking fake a photo of zombies
Ugh.
with COVID.
And that's the thing, like, and the technology got to be so advanced that old AI can't, like, they can't, would have to look like regular old TV to them or something, like,
Mm-hmm.
shit.
Not regular old TV to them.
This next gen's gonna get trolled so hard. Holy fuck.
This next gen, to be honest, we gonna be bullying them because half these new gens names, these kids names,
What are their names?
and they can't read.
No, they can't read.
Like
They don't have comprehension skills. Oh man, I feel so bad for
these
them.
kids can't read. They got some fucked up names. At least like you knew some kid had some fucked up parents if their name was like Hennessy or something. But these kids, man.
Yeah, I like the direction that 2024 is heading as far as the amount of content that's been coming out.
Coming out. Yeah, it's only been like 5 months.
So
We've been
yeah,
entertained.
I mean, I won't talk about. I was well. We don't really need to talk about Israel and Palestine in this episode or anything, but that's happening. So I think like on the whole, in my mind, I'm like all this stuff is happening, and it is a distraction for something. Whether it's a distraction for what's going on in the war, or something else.
Yeah,
I think that's what.
I think that we would have a more serious episode and talk about those things because I've done a lot of research and there's a lot of stuff they covered up that I bet y'all don't know about.
Oh yeah, I don't
Um,
know anything.
did y'all hear about the Uvalde school shooting?
But no.
No.
So basically, this literally just happened, like I think a month or so ago. There was a little preschool, little middle school, and there was a school shooting, but there was kids that died because the police were there. They like as soon as the shooter entered the school, the police were literally there like 5 minutes after.
Mm.
And instead of like going in and taking down the shooter, they waited an hour. And there's footage. The footage was released. I've watched it all. I've watched the parents' reactions to the kids that survived, and also the ones who the parents for the kids that didn't make it. Rest in peace. Um, but in the footage, you basically see the police standing outside the room. One of the police officers, his wife was a teacher at the school. She died. And she texted him, and he didn't go in, but he tried to. He did, but they held him back. They took away his gun and everything. And there was one officer, like in the middle of the shooting, like he was getting hand sanitizer from the little automatic machines in the walls while the shooting was going on. So a lot of kids lost their life. Shouldn't have. That situation could have been resolved within less than an hour. And so now they haven't really done anything to the police, like no arrests or anything yet have been made. So it's just kind of a thing. But there's a lot of stuff that's been going on and stuff like that. There's been a lot of like innocent people been dying. A lot of stuff's been going on that kind of been swept under the rug because of all this stuff going on.
Right.
And they doing a good job covering it up. And that's
Oh yeah,
terrible.
and they don't gotta try hard anymore too. Like I feel like they have to
They
try
don't.
harder.
The attention span is so small.
Yeah.
It's so small. And
You just
it's
gotta tell them, "Oh, I'm gonna shut down TikTok." Okay, everybody's gonna focus on that now.
yep.
We
Like,
got,
bruh.
we
Y'all
got them.
really worried about TikTok? Like if you don't go get an actual job or something, hell, you can't even bag McDonald's anymore, bro. 20 an hour. Like fuck TikTok.
Not you got no. I literally heard that you got to have like I think you have to have something to work at McDonald's.
They got standards
Well,
now. Fuck.
they got
They got
standards.
standards. They have standards now. McDonald's.
Man, I say you gotta get that money while you can before they replace all that shit with the robots. Because they
I
already
mean,
did it once. They already did it
they
in some
did.
place. So shit.
Oh yeah,
That's the next
Wendy's.
thing. They probably I read that they're like trying to cut out either the middle or the lower class. They trying to do this shit.
Kill
Because
them off.
you know, yeah, like you said, the population is too big. That's part of the agenda.
No, they said now it's too small
Oh,
because
now it's
look,
too small, bruh.
that's why they made abortion
How big is the
like
planet?
illegal. No, because think about it. We had a pandemic that wiped out a good
Right.
portion. Then we have women who's not like having kids out of our
Right.
country.
You know, you're probably right.
We
half
got
the
people
point.
dying. To be honest, let the population get small. Shit. We is not doing no better. We do not need no more pedophiles or nothing. We need to learn how to
Honestly.
get mean again. We need to get mean first. We got to
Yeah,
get
we need to
mean
weed them
first.
out for a bit.
Then,
Man.
to be honest, I was like, let the pandemic take away all the dumb ones, but now we left with the pedophiles. So it really wasn't a win.
Yeah. Yeah, they got the wrong ones. But shit. We'll get them soon enough. You know, it seems like we always gonna get them. So, you know,
Yep.
there's Skeeter Gene on YouTube. Go check out Skeeter Gene. Like that shit is some of the best content I've ever seen on this. So that's always nice. But we'll wrap here.
Yeah.
We'll wrap here. I think this is beautiful. Any final thoughts?
No.
Bring back bullying 2024. Bring back bullying by 2025.
Oh my
Exactly.
Be mean.
God. I'm
Exactly.
about to cry when he comes back home.
They need it for the greater good of society.
We need it. The bully movement is in effect.
Just be a bully to people who deserve it. I'm not saying do it to everyone. Just do it to people who deserve it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm.
Because then if I say be mean, they gonna quote me.
Like, Dylan said to be mean to
Yeah,
everyone.
they be quick to point fingers. They be quick. He told me to, and I'll be like, damn.
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes this episode. I don't know what we're gonna be doing next episode, but I'm sure it'll be. We got It's been a while, a few months, so we got some shit to talk about. So, with that being said, I'm Father B.
Happy.
For a movie? Nah.